36 Sunday morning. I'm gonna start I think page 14. And I actually already spent an hour or two this morning drawing it, so we're started. I know I got the light on. But I'm gonna show you the delicious Empyrean Brew. So you take a Stoke espresso blend. It's unsweetened. And it's about most of the way up, right? And then Pepsi Zero Sugar. It's delicious. Oh no, don't take my word for it. You should try it too. Okay, let's turn this light off. I love it. Um, okay, if we had divided this comic up into chapters, as we did with Brillig, and I think we even did with, did we do it with Book of Ruin? I don't remember. If we had done that, though, that's so good. It tastes like coffee ice cream to me. This would be chapter 3. Chapter 1 being at the space station, or actually at the palace, rather. Chapter 2 being everything after she lands. Kind of starting here. And then chapter 3, starting on page 14, would be this overland journey to this place called Kairop 2, which is a weather station, an abandoned weather station, supposedly abandoned, where they're going to scavenge some equipment. And I don't know if you can see the level of my drawing is pretty basic, it's pretty rough. But I've got all my text and stuff already in there. And, just a real quick one, let's talk about leading first. Now, this is using Evil Genius font, which is great for leading. But let me show you what a leading problem looks like, because somebody, I think it's Lizello, is having problems with one. So let me show you what it looks like. Let's say instead of Evil Genius, I had used Ready for Anything. This one has a notorious leading problem, right? See the spaces in between the lines here? It's too much, right? So what we do is we would select all, select the whole thing. Let me do it step by step. Select everything, choose regular, and then you can see this little menu down here. Let me see if you can you zoom into that? And one of those is leading. Now, it's going to be a different number for every font. The number for this font, just because I've used it a lot, is -6. So you choose 0 point here, you choose 6, and then you choose the negative. And that fixes the leading. See how they're nice and close together again? So in this case, I am going to change the leading back to 0 and then switch it back to Evil Genius, which already has the leading kind of fixed. And Evil Genius actually it displays a bit large. You can see how it popped in a bit larger. Anyways, all right. That's leading. And I had to learn that the hard way. In fact, you can actually see comics that I've done from this year that have the leading wrong. That from the, well, maybe not from this year, maybe from the end of last year, where I hadn't yet figured out the trick. Took me years to figure out. I swear this is the best drink ever. And it's like 0 calories too. All right. Let's start as we always start with panels. Now, I had a vague notion when I was starting to draw this that I would want to go borderless on first panel and just do like a big scene, and I'm not 100% convinced that I don't want to do that. Like, I might actually still do that. But I think what I'll have to do is draw in most of it and then see how it looks. Every page must have at least one story beat and new elements of information. And here's the story beat is, of course, the journey. They're in a new place, new setting, everything is changed. So story beat, check, right? And then what are the new elements of information? Well, first of all, you're going to learn that Centaur can carry a lot of stuff. He's going to have this big like pile of junk that he has to carry. And then also we're going to learn that the Princess Luminara is kind of a wimp. She's doesn't want to travel in the heat. And you also learn, according to my databanks, he has a vast computer mind and can remember all kinds of things. So we learn about the characters, we learn about the new setting, and we're driving the story forward at all times. Okay. That seemed to have worked. If you aren't driving your story forward at all times, and on every panel you should have something new. Nothing makes me more annoyed when you have a comic where it will show a sequence of 3 or more panels, and it's just the same character getting progressively larger like he's walking towards you. What the hell? This ain't animation. It don't work like that. I do like the sort of mood panels that Scott McCloud talks about. And Noah Van Sciver actually does them quite well. Once I figured out that's what he was doing. If there's a lot of exciting stuff going on one page, the next page, he might just have like clouds. He might just like, it'll just completely be a different pacing. So just showing some clouds. They don't have a lot of story to them, but it allows you to reset yourself. Now there's other tricks to do that, of course, like in comic books and more Western style comic books, the trick is to do more centered panels where the action is less offset and more centered. So these guys are always, you always want to be offset a bit, so you're showing movement and action and things that are going on. But to slow things down, you could push things further towards the middle, you know, and have characters in less energetic poses. But you don't want to overplay that because it's very boring. The whole point is that it's boring. That's how you achieve a reset. All right, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I think I've got. Let me take off panel 2 for a second. I think I've got the panels done. The only regret is you can actually kind of learn a lot about a page even when you've got all of the images removed. Big panel, 2 panels, 1 panel, and this panel, and these two are kind of split evenly down the center, which I don't really like to do. I think it should be offset one way or the other, but I think in this case because it's the first page of a chapter, I think it's probably okay to leave it in the middle like this. If we were to have one of these 2 big panels, the long panels split, I would try to not center the line. Like we wouldn't want it down here in the middle. We would want it maybe just a little bit over and a little bit over this way or that way, so that it isn't straight through. Now, I know some old comics have it like that. Specifically, Dell Comics would do that a lot. Would have the 6-panel page. And of course, everyone has a different idea of things. David Lapham uses those 6-panel landscape layouts, but I don't like those at all. Those are basically, to me, I think those are storyboard layouts, and not a fan. All right, just so you know. I also don't like the ones where they just completely remove panels entirely, get out of the grid, and just go nuts with it all. I have great love for Todd McFarlane, but he would always pull this trick where you'd have like a profile of a face, like right over on the right side of the page or something. All right, I don't even have an ink layer yet, so let's do that. I'm gonna rename this one Panels so I don't forget. Panels. Or Pebbles. And we name this one Ink. And all right, let's give it a shot. When you're doing a big panoramic panel like this, let's start with this. I'll tell you how I approach it anyways. First of all, the rule of Prado, work from the foreground and then go back. And I have, and you do want a foreground, even if it's minimal. Like in this case, I want to have some plants or some piled rocks. They've been traveling, it says, kilometers from the relative comfort of the crash site. Maybe I should call it landing site. I don't think they really crashed. My point here is as they're traveling, it's getting hotter. They're going into a hotter area. Let's call it a landing site. Kilometers from the landing. Come on. I don't like this little. I don't understand how the mini keyboard appears. Sometimes it's the full size keyboard, sometimes it's the mini, and I don't know which what I'm doing to make which one appear. I wish I knew, because I like mostly the large keyboard. So this is kind of up in the extreme foreground, and it wouldn't be um, wrong for us to even black it out. We could even like fill it in with black. I'm not going to though for right now anyways. I might eventually. This might be an opportune moment also to go and look at some desert plants or whatever kind of plants that you want to um, put in your image. In my case, these would be like sort of desert plants, but it's also an alien planet, so using cactus or you could also look at well, they don't have too many of these anymore, but they used to. Western comics, like cowboy westerns, and depending on the comic, they might have some pretty good scenery for you to draw. I created a tangent, but I'm going to erase it. I want it to look a little bit like some kind of a coral, like underwater coral. Of course, the desert has beautiful flowers as well. And they'll all come out. Now, I'm originally from Texas, where we have bluebells. Last time I was there, it wasn't that long ago, the bluebells were all in bloom at my mom's house. I'm trying to draw some kind of mold or lichen or something. Oh, you know what? You ever see those? This is probably in a moisture area, but like they kind of cling to the side of the rock. Something like that. All right, let's see. What if we did that? Oops. As long as we're doing that, we'll do a little bit of this. We went a step too far. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. I can see that I'm causing problems the more I do it. Nope, that worked. Okay. We're going to do the same thing on this side. You don't need much. In fact, I've actually made a bit too much here of my foreground. But let's see what it looks like. Our pencils. How's that look? That looks pretty good to me. Maybe there should be some kind of like little flower buds on these plants. So that one was kind of tangenting. But one of the ways that we're going to be sort of reinforcing the idea that the characters have moved is show different plants and scenery and stuff. Even if the reader is not consciously appreciating all the things that you're doing, it'll register in their brain. Aha, we've moved a bit. I'm looking at this because I don't like this outline. We could even be a bit cheeky and have a bug or a lizard, scorpion on a rock somewhere. A snail. But as long as we're keeping it visually interesting, should be good to go. All right. All right, pushing further into the background is this sort of hill. And then I'm going to push him forward a little bit so he's slightly more dynamic. I want him, like I'm trying to imagine how he would be carrying all this stuff, and he has like these big straps or ropes or something holding it all down. It's kind of a throwaway gag because immediately we zoom in on the close-ups, and that's like a behind the head close-up here, so we don't have to worry about showing him trying to deal with all this stuff for too long. If we wanted to, we could easily get 2 or 3 pages out of him struggling with all the stuff, or not struggling with it, as the joke goes. Cheerfully walking around with it. I could even have him turning his head back. Let's take a look at the pencils layer just for a second. Originally I had him just sort of happily going forward, but let's see if I choose warp. There we go, I can move it right into place. There's a couple other tricks I want to show you with warp at some point too, especially with speech balloons, because those are always going to be a problem. All right, let's reduce. I think I might need the micro nib. So the oil slick head, I love this feature of him, but it's always making it a little bit difficult. Should I have it to where the top of his head is showing? Yeah, I think I should. Because I have this is because the neck is underneath the chin, so that means his head is tilted a bit forward. You gotta make sure you get his symbols in there. Right. Let's try and figure out how to. All of the stuff is going to be sort of, cubes, 3-dimensional. Some of them might be storage boxes, but she might have some things that are just loose. Like there might be a frying pan hanging off here or something like this. I don't know, maybe not a frying pan. Oh, okay, let's make it a frying pan. That'd be funny. Like, what does she need a frying pan for? And we just have like a bunch of sort of junk kind of piled up. Carefully here. Okay. And despite the fact that we're seeing the top of his head, I think that we're actually doing a slight undershot here. Let me see what it looks like without the pencil. All right. I'm going to cover up his eyes. Just redo him. Okay, we got a good start. Okay, I'm going to continue drawing here, and then we're going to close the video at around 30 minutes. It's already at 25 minutes. These gourd shapes I use for the knees are kind of fun. Let's do, like with this foot, let's show the underside of it. So we actually are doing like a bit of an upshot, but just on this leg because he's stepping forward. Let's see how that reads. That's looking good. I just got to build in the rest of it. Shout out to Ewan. He's committed to. He wants to do 1,000-page quest like me. He's got quite a few pages already. I helped PDF one of his comics. I think it's called. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. It was a Christmas story. He did for a commission, and then he also did Robot Sherlock Holmes, if you remember, from Intergalactic. Was glad to have it. I'm hoping, although I'm not counting on, um, March to give us a chance to publish. I think his name is Darby Plainclothes. One of his comics. It's never been in print yet. He's doing his own kind of his self anthology, which is cool. I've done that as well, and I highly recommend it to anybody listening. Take all the stuff you've done, put it in a collection. Having your own work in printed form that you can put on a shelf is really cool. There's nothing like it. I'm telling you. And it's not expensive. You know, at this point, we have the technology, right? Ooh, I think I have this rope just slightly off, but it's slightly off in a way that's making it a lot off. All right, let's do it again. Here we go. Okay. I think our next thing, once we can kayfabe in some more fake boxes and bags of luggage. I just have to figure out what else to put in here. Maybe there's a blanket that's rolled up. Maybe this is like one of those space containers. You know? It has all the princess's stuff in it. But she's the one that's tired. That's the gag. All right, hang on. Let's fit this little hill. Dang it. Throw this little hill in here. And I might have to adjust for line weight, but let's take a look. Yeah, it's starting to come together. We're starting to get kind of a sense of there's a whole environment here. Here I am adjusting the line weight. Oh, shout out to Dale. Dale just did his cover for this new Vampire Hunter comic, which is Vampire Hunter Sodality, which I don't know what that means yet, but I'm interested to find out. But he posted the drafts of it, and I could see where it was going, you know. And then he just posted the line work like really quick afterwards. People say I'm fast. I'm not really fast. I'm just consistent. I am very much the turtle um, in the race of the tortoise and the hare. People go, he's so fast. Look how much he's doing. I'm here every day. That's why. All right. Anyway. Oh, the outside of the feet have a circle and a line that goes up like that. I wonder if I do the inside of the feet like that too. I'll have to check it. Oh, I put a big eraser mark right there. Also, it's a bit deceptive because people see me as just an artist, but I'm really I'm the writer as well. So there's no like lag time between having to wait for a page to get done or to conceive of it. It's happening almost immediately. Okay. Which is why I recommend that artists learn to write and writers learn to draw. That one's more like a package. There we go. We can have some fun with the stuff on this pile of stuff, like with labels, you know? And a whole other figure to draw. I've got her in the background and some trees in the background. I want to do some low clouds. And of course the speech balloons will balance it all out. All right. I think we're at enough time for right now. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more comics every day. Try this stuff out. All right. Talk to you later.